once every season, for feeling the wind beneath our feet once again. Had to sit down with danger. She said, hello stranger, I've got important things to do. How about you? Surrounded by darkness all around, yeah. Barreling down that hill, and suddenly he's here now, yeah. Was having traveling good times, yeah, living that good life. But I wanna help somebody else besides myself. Started working with children, befriending his brethren, meeting the one who would become the mother of his sons. Surrounded by darkness all around, yeah. Barreling down that hill, and suddenly he's here now. And then he made himself a promise, and danger stayed away. And there were sports and stories and trips to the gold rush, coaching all the basketball games. And he would meet you on an airplane, yeah, he would always find the time. People would open up and fill their cups with the love that was waiting inside. We're given a reason, not once every season, for feeling the wind beneath our feet once again. All right, hello everybody. Hope you're doing well. That's an original of mine, yet to be recorded actually and released, called "Given a Reason." And I think I had an Instagram post of this, and then I was planning out my more acoustic-based album, and I found that Instagram post of just a composition, musical composition. I said that's going to be a good start for a song, so I busted out my notebook and wrote the lyrics, I think in a day. More on that later. So, hope you're having a nice day. Let me know. Say hello. It's always nice to see who's here. All right. Thank you, Vedant. I'm looking forward to sharing it. Appreciate that. Isn't this Martin just great? I strung it up last night, and I know I did a celebratory stream when I bought it, but it's just so nice. OM28. And I put new strings on it. I also adjusted the truss rod because the humidity is a little bit different in Colorado than in California. Which strings do I use? Well, for these, for this Martin, I'm using Martin 13s, mediums. I've been doing 13s my whole life on acoustic. They're a little heavy for some people, but I like the thicker strings. They get a better tone, and they stay in tune better. I've been using D'Addario my whole life, but I think I like Martin a little better. It's just a little brighter. I like the price point of the D'Addario. They're a little less expensive. So anyway, yeah, let's do a live stream here. I also want to share a little bit about Nashville and how that went. And I know that the channel's been not as active lately, so it's important for me to connect with you all with these streams. I do have a gig tonight and tomorrow, so it's just kind of the busy time of year with the gigs. So I'm going to do as best as I can. Did anybody check out the last video I did on connecting the shapes of Caged? And do you want me to do more theory? Because I noticed it didn't get a ton of views. I'm just wondering if people want to learn more about the fretboard. I'm happy to teach that stuff. Which Diodario strings would I recommend? Well, for acoustic, I would recommend either the 12s or 13s. And it depends on if you like a light or medium. Going too much lighter than that, I wouldn't recommend. But just get the regular phosphor bronze 12s or 13s. Oh, cool. So Vedant checked it out. Julia, hello. Great. I'm glad you checked that out. Do keep doing more theory. Okay, I will. Yeah, and if it gets less views, that's fine with me. I just wanted to touch base and see if people were benefiting from that. Speaking of theory, okay, Jacques wants more theory too. Good, that's good to know. All right, well, people are kind of coming on now, so we can start our lesson now, and I'm going to play a few songs. I need to kind of warm up today for a gig tonight. Tomorrow, playing a wedding that's 7 hours away, so I'll be leaving around 5 a.m. So, just got to get through this weekend, and then I can relax a little bit. So, the name of this stream is Chord Tones Lead Guitar 101. All right, now, you may not necessarily be a lead guitarist or necessarily care about lead guitar a ton, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take chord tones very seriously, because chord tones, I just said lead guitar 101 because it's the most logical association in my mind, but chord tones are important for rhythm players, for songwriters, for people who are just playing solo guitar. If you play any jazz, or if you play any style, jazz, rock, blues, country, chord tones are going to be important. So we're going to kind of go through this. I'm going to kind of wing it a little bit, because this is a way for me to flesh out some ideas to you, see what questions you have, and then I can create some more formal lessons with some screenshots where I can edit it later, add stuff to the Patreon. So if I have a song, okay, and let's just talk about the history of chord tones a little bit. If you're an instrumentalist, say in the jazz world or in the funk, R&B, whatever, and you play a horn, for instance, you play trumpet, you play saxophone, you play trombone, how do you practice songs? They practice songs by playing chord tones. So if I have, let's say I'm playing, I can't think of any songs right now, but let's say I'm playing Take It Easy, and I'm there are no horn players on this recording, and I want to play this song. I'm playing it with a cover band. They would have to play the chord tones because they can't play chords, right? Guitar and piano pretty much are the chordal instruments. So we can play these chords, but we can also play chord tones, and so that's called blowing the changes. And in jazz, if they're learning complex songs, they would be blowing the changes by playing only the chord tones. All right, so that's a little bit of the history. And what are chord tones? Well, chord tones are basically the notes of a chord. So if we have a chord progression, we've got multiple chords. So let's say Take It Easy by the Eagles, originally by Jackson Browne. Loosen my load, I got 7 G to D to C. Okay, let's just start with those three. I can play the 1, 3, and 5 of G by literally on the G chord. I can play the 6th, 5th, 4th strings. That's 1, 3, 5. Third string is 1 again. Second string is 3. I have to add the pinky to 3rd fret, second string to play the 5, and then first string is the 1 again, or the 8. So that would be called an arpeggio, but it would be playing the chord tones. That can be applied all across the neck. Recognize that shape? That's the E shape of G. So I could say, let's just imagine we're a horn player for now, or a singer, or whatever. Da, 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 da. playing the chord with only the chord tones. That continues through all the shapes of caged. That's the D shape. C shape. Excuse me, I'm kind of losing my voice here. A shape. And G shape. Man, this guitar is just so great. Even up here, it's in tune. So when it goes to D, then I could follow those chord tones. I'm a running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. You hear the song? That just says a friend of mine. Take it E minor. Take it easy. Let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Now, this is hard to do while singing. Not like I recommend doing that. But this is a wonderful exercise where you limit yourself to not even scales, but to only chord tones. With an occasional passing tone if you want. Here's the D, C, G. Now E minor. We all know this A minor shape of E minor here, so I could just go. I'm adding the flat 3 on the 10th fret. Now C. A minor, C major. All right, and then you can go from there. That's going to be a way to practice understanding the fretboard and how to play chords all over while playing songs. That's why I started with a popular song. And this has been incredibly beneficial to me. So I know this is probably over some people's heads right now, so I'll as we go through this stream, I'll kind of talk about how to go about this. Does this make sense on at least an introductory level of if we take the 1, 3, 5 of a chord, which is really what a chord is made of. G major is made of 1, 3, 5s, D major is made of 1, 3, 5s. When we say 1, 3, 5, it's the first, third, and fifth note of the appropriate scale. If it's a major chord, it has a major third. If it's C major, again, major third, 5. When it goes to E minor, it has a minor third because it's a minor chord. And we're not even talking about 7th chords yet or anything else. Just the basics. All right, Vedant's got to go. No problem, because it's late here. Oh yeah, in India. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. That's a lot of information right at the get-go. Is this making sense on at least what are chord tones? And okay, so basically chords can be played one note at a time. And my guitar teacher had me go through all this quite thoroughly. Let me play a song and then we'll get back to this, because I think we'll digest it as time goes on. All right, what am I going to do here? Let's do So We Can See It Dark, another original. Hopefully you're in the mood to be to hear some music as well as learn. So I kind of like to mix it up. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Let's try to get to 10 likes, which is not that many. Hopefully we can do that. And also check out the Patreon if you want to have access to some more tabs and support the channel. Okay. So let me throw this at you. This is another song from the album I'm going to hopefully be recording very soon. If I could swim to the places I have been, with a creek I would flow to the places some call home. We stood hand in hand after the play and the band. We threw our sticks in the fire and sang till the voices were tired. feel like we barely arrived. We'll fill our circle full of light so we can see tonight. Fill our hearts with every spark so we can see it dark. We'll fill our circle full of light so we can see tonight. Every spark will fill our hearts so we can see it dark. So we can see it dark. We laughed and played, came together night and day. Now the only thing that remains is the way in which our lives would change. The first car we saw, the beginning of everyone gone. The stillness and the quiet felt strange, but filled with all the wonderful things. And so it was as we went away. We'll fill our circle full of light so we can see tonight. Fill our hearts with every spark so we can see it dark. We'll fill our circle full of light so we can see tonight. Yeah. Every spark will fill our hearts so we can see it dark. So we can see it dark. So we can see it dark. Okay. Can only give one thumb, but yes, in the mood to hear some good music. Thanks, Jacques. Julia, what do you like more at the Martin guitar, and how is the Taylor different? What do you use? Right. What do you use? What techniques or style? Great questions, Julia. Thanks. You know, that's a really good question. I think the Martin is a slightly better guitar than my Taylor. I have a 714 CE. This is an OM28. They're roughly a similar price point when you buy them new. Both of them have Indian rosewood on the back and sides. This is a smaller body. The Taylor, I pretty much have the Grand Auditorium, I believe, which is one of the bigger sizes. And I love big guitars because it has such a loud sound. And so if I'm going to be playing like something where I really want a lot of volume, let's say I'm playing an acoustic jam session, I may want to use the Taylor, to be honest, because I want to be heard if I'm playing lead. The Taylor has a cutaway, so I usually use that for lead as well, because this Martin does not. But as far as the Martin, it just has such a balanced sound. So if I'm recording like a fingerstyle piece, especially, I'd probably use the Martin. If I'm going to be finger picking all day, I'd probably use the Martin. And if I'm going to be strumming chords, I also like the Martin. If I'm going to be soloing, I would say I'd use the Taylor a little more, because it has a really bold, present, loud sound to it, and it's got the cutaway. It also has a pickup, so the Taylor has a pickup, so I can use it for my solo gigs, which I'm starting to do a little more now that things are opening up. And if you're going to play for a couple hours, you want that ability to solo on it as well. And so the Martin is like pristine sound. I'd probably use it mostly on the album, and then if I'm going to take some solos, I might switch to the Taylor. And I might strum on the Taylor just for a different tone, but I think the Martin is just such a clean sound with strumming. All right? So hopefully that makes sense and answers your question, Julia. But yeah, the finger style with this Martin is just heaven. More coffee. Well, back to chord tones, right? And ask away. Let me know what you're working on with guitar and if I can help. All right, now we did that. One thing I'd like to say with chord tones, let's look at the blues for a second. If we look at the blues, what's nice about the blues is that, well, there's many things that are nice about it, is that it works really well on guitar because it's kind of a guitar genre, right? Especially in its history of the blues. So guitar was kind of built for the blues, both with the chords and the phrasing and the scales, right? The pentatonic, the bending, right? The double stops, the chords, the bass patterns, all the things that we can do with blues. So the reason I bring this up on my chord tones live stream is if I have, say, a blues in E, you could do E7, kind of a shuffle. You could do a boogie woogie bass pattern, and then you would go to the A7 for a bar maybe, and then E7 for 2 bars. Let's just define the blues. Next 4-bar phrase, 4 chord for 2 bars, A7, back to E7 for 2 bars. That's the 1 chord. That's the 8 bars so far. The last 4 bars is the turnaround. B7, 5 chord, A7 for a bar, E7 for a bar, walk up to the 5, back, and then you're back to the beginning. So it's a very predictable form that we can all agree on, and you can jam with your buddies or your bandmates anytime. The blues is like, we don't know what to play some blues, right? Stanley, only 6 viewers, deserve many more. Thanks. Wish I could stay and learn. Unfortunately, I'm at work. Thanks, Stanley. Yeah, that's okay. The channel is kind of stagnating a little bit, and I think that's partially my fault for not posting as many videos. And also, it's summertime and people are going out. And you know, I am totally happy with just having these more intimate streams because I can talk to each one of you. But if the channel grows, that's also a great thing. So either way is fine with me. I do realize that things are opening up. It's summer, so hey, I love being outside. So if people are not on YouTube as much, that's great as well. But yeah, tell your friends about the channel and consider the Patreon, and these things will help the channel grow. So I appreciate everyone's support. All right, so back to the blues. We covered that, the 3 chords and where they go. If I have an E7, I can now do the chord tones all across the neck on an E7. All right, so here's an E7, 1, 3, 5. It's a major chord, so it's a major 3. There's the major scale, not the major, but the Mixolydian. So there's a E7. Here's a 1, 3, 5. Now with the dominant 7th chord, we add a flat 7. It's already in the 4th string, open the D string. So 1, 3, 5, flat 7. Then repeat. 1, 3, 5. Where's the flat 7 on the B string? 3rd fret. That's why you can play an E7 like this as well. So when you're playing chords, try to understand where these chord tones can lie and what they are. Right, there's your flat 7. Then you're 1 again. Then the 3 is on the 4th fret. So 1, 3, 5, flat 7. 1, 3, 5, flat 7. 1, 3. Now you can take this on any position. I could take it on that position. I could also go here from this root, 7th fret, 5th string. There's an E. 1, 3, 5, flat 7. 1, 3, 5. Such a good exercise just to run that in the 12-bar blues. So for E7, so I'm going to do a shuffle for 4 bars. Only the chord tones. Now we're getting ready for the A7. So for A7, I could go open again, but let's stick to this area. 1, 3, 5, flat 7. 1, 3, 5, flat 7. 1. If I'm going too fast, let me know. But you can always rewatch this later and follow along by slowing it down or something. So that would be 1, 3, 1, flat 7, 5, 3, 1, flat 7, 5, 3, 1. All right. So let's go with the blues. Let's not resolve, but let's move from the 1 chord chord tones for 4 bars to the 4 chord, which is the A7. All right, so ready? 2 to 3 and 4. Just gonna go up and down, nothing fancy. All E7 chord tones. Now here's the A7 right here. Back to the E. I'm gonna go to the B7. Back to the A7. E7. B7. Okay. And of course, when you get bored with that, then you just go into the blues like I did and just start playing pentatonic riffs and blues cliches, right? If there's any cliches I like, it's blues cliches, right? They never get old. Okay. All right, what do we got here? Julia says, I'm on my way home from work. Just pause. Oh, just pausing in the sun. Nice. That sounds fun. George, this would be a great blues lesson. Yeah, I agree. Thanks. I do have a few blues lessons you can check out on my channel, by just typing in blues on whenever you go to my channel. But you can never do the blues too much, and I probably need to kind of update some of these lessons and do some new ones because there's so much to cover with blues. Thanks, Jock. Tim joined your Patreon a few weeks ago and loving it. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it, Tim. Can't wait for the first Winwood lesson. Yeah, Steve Winwood. Okay. What do you want to hear from Steve Winwood? Did you already email me? Maybe I need to check my messages. Maybe you've already told me. But yeah, either tell me here or send me a message on the Patreon. I'm able to get to those requests a lot faster than just the channel. I do play Higher Love by Steve Winwood, which is got like 5 sections. It's got like 3 bridges. David Broomberg says you have to suffer to have this. Yeah, you got to go through a little bit of life experience, right? Because the blues is about, the blues is about living through tough times. To be quite honest, right? So you got to live to sing the blues a little bit. So hopefully that made sense. I just played the chord tones of a blues in a certain position. You could do it in any position. It's really fun to do. It sounds pretty cool. Do you hear the blues progression going here? Without me even playing chords. Okay, let's play a song and keep this party moving. You guys want to hear some Beatles? I'm going to do this in the key of G, not A. This is one of John Lennon's great middle period songs for the Beatles called In My Life, which is, I think, was really just a massive hit, especially for the middle period. So let's see if I can pull this off here. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living in my life. I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, sorry, compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. Some are dead and some are living in my life. I love them all. Let's try it. Alright, so I'm using some chord tones here. And you can still hear the song, ideally. Can't talk while I play. Kind of doing not that great of a job. So that was kind of a rough song to do it over. Some of them are harder than others. In my life, I love you more. Okay. It's always challenging teaching while I'm playing. So, Beatles, yes. Got some smiley faces there, so take it that's a good thing. If you just sat with a Beatles songbook and just played it on the guitar, that would be a great education, a great lesson just right there. You know, John and Paul were basically like sponges, so and they were a massively successful cover band in Hamburg and Liverpool, playing mostly covers every day, every night for a couple years. So they learned, 300 or 400 covers. They would learn more during the day in between each night, right? Between each gig at night. So then when they were writing, they basically were, they had soaked it all in, and they had learned not only rock and roll, Elvis, Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly, but they had learned all the R&B happening in America, all the Temptations, Ray Charles, all the girl groups, the Ronettes, the Supremes. So they were basically well versed in that. So that's why we focus on songs a lot. And when I teach theory, I'm always trying to teach it in the context of a song, because it's not always necessary, but it's kind of nice to practice these concepts over a song. So for In My Life, there are places I remember. That would be G to D to D to E minor. Excuse me. G, D, E minor. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 5, 3, 1. Go in the opposite direction. And then C, C minor. So this is just going to get you to play all over the neck, and it's kind of exhausting to always play chords and triads, so sometimes you want to break it up into individual notes. And that's why I said this is lead guitar 101. If you want to play lead, you have to play more melodically, and you have to play more, here's a kind of a unnecessarily complicated term, but you have to play monophonically. Monophonic means one note at a time. So if I want to play a song, I would want to basically nail those chord tones. All right? So let me give you a couple more things to work on this weekend. I'm trying to think here. This is accessing a lot of the things you can find in Caged. If you go through Caged, you'll see, like on G major, you'll see the chord tones laid out. Not all of them, but most of them, maybe more than half of them. So for the E shape, we already talked about the chord tones here. The only one you're missing is this, that's the third. Here, the only one we're missing on the D shape is way down there, and this one here as well, these 2 octaves. So if you would do the chord tones, you would have to go like this. Or some people do this. Either one, same note. Then you'd have to go all the way down here. So that's, I mean, I teach privately. These are things that take weeks of direct, focused study to basically, know how to practice it. So, sometimes I throw these things out, and it's like everyone's like wondering, how do I do this right away? It's like, well, you have to wait, and you have to be patient and go for a buildup of the knowledge. Sorry if I'm being a little unclear today. I'm a little tired. Notes progression similar to, oh yeah, Pachelbel's canon, right? Yeah. Sorry. I've never played it on the guitar. Actually, I have, but it was one time at a wedding, I think, for classical guitar. Okay, let's look at a C chord, and I'm just going to show you a few ways to play these chord tones up and down the neck. Okay. And then eventually I'm going to show you things to do for lead playing. If someone's in the key of C or any key, really, I'll show you a few things you can do. So let's start with our open chord, 5th string. We're going to go down the strings. I'll name out the scale degrees. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. Now the 3rd fret will be 5. Now let's go down. 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5 on the 3rd fret, 6th string. 3 on the open. 5, 1. Good. Great warm-up exercise. Now here's the A shape of C. This is the bar chord. Hopefully all of you know, or some of you. We're going to add the 3rd on the 2nd fret, 4th string. But other than that, we'll just go down these strings. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 5, 3, 1. Again, 3rd fret, 6th string, 5, 1. Okay. Here's the G shape. So it's the scale where you do this. You start with the pinky on the root. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. We have to add the 8th fret for the 5. 1, 5, 3, 1. 5, 3, 1. We're almost there. I know this is a little tedious. Here's the E shape. We have to add the 3rd here. And even if you're not playing right this minute, you're still hopefully soaking this up and sort of seeing how the fretboard works with chord tones. All right. 1, we'll add the 3rd here. Now we'll play the E shape. 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. You can reach for the 3rd way up here. For the 3rd. Back to 1, 5, 3, 5, 3. I'm sorry. 1, 5, and then 3, 1. Oops. Final one, I know it's a lot, would be the D shape. 1, we'll add the 3rd here. See a pattern? 5, 1, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1. Here's the 5. Here's the 3. You could even reach for the 1. 3, 5, 1. And then you're done, right? Because then you've done all 5 shapes. That's no easy task. And the reason I'm doing it all for you here is not to say go and do that right away. It's to say something to shoot for. If you can work towards being able to do that, might take you a few weeks, might take even longer, might take a couple days, depending on where you're at, how much time you have. Then you could try a different key, right? So once you do that, you say, okay, I've done C. Now I would do G. Maybe I've done that. Now I'm going to do E. And you'll find different challenges with different open chords, but you'll also find that these shapes will continue to repeat. All right. So there's the more arduous, slightly rigorous part of the lesson. Why don't we balance it out with a song, and we'll probably wrap it up soon. But I'm happy to answer your questions. Let's play something a little different. Let's play George Strait, Amarillo by Morning. And this is a really good song to do chord tones. So I'll talk about that after, just briefly. All right? I think the allergies are getting my voice a little bit. Okay, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Amarillo by morning, up from San Antonio. Everything that I've got is just what I've got on. When that sun is high in that Texas sky, I'll be bucking it's a county fair. Amarillo by morning, Amarillo, I'll be there. I'll be looking for rain when they pull that gate, and I hope that judge ain't mine. Amarillo by morning, Amarillo's on my mind. Amarillo by morning, Amarillo's on my mind. All right. Always a nice one. So let's talk a little bit about chord tones on this song. D, F sharp minor, G, D. F sharp minor, G, A. And then we'll probably get going. All right. So I'm just going to do it. I think you've heard me go on and on about it. So I'm just going to kind of do it, and you tell me what it sounds like. Does it sounds a little bit predictable and academic because it's just getting you to play the chords all over the neck melodically as if you were a lead player. Oh yeah, I told you I would give you some lead ideas. If I focus on the first three strings and the second, third, and fourth strings, and I kind of forget about the bass, I can sound like I'm playing some lead parts. All right, so let me show you what I mean. See? I'm playing the chords in just the first three strings. So if you want to play lead with your friends, play some triads and arpeggios on the first three strings or the second, third, and fourth strings. And while your friend is singing and strumming, you know, it's like So they were going Amarillo by morning. You know, people are like, oh, okay, that works, nice, you know. And then in between the vocal phrases, throw in some fills. Amarillo by morning. Here's the G up from San Antone. Throw in a little pentatonic, major pentatonic riff on D. Back to arpeggios. Da, 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 da. All 1, 3, 5s here. Another fill. Just A major pentatonic. Back to G. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. In between the phrase, throw in a little fill. Again, do you need to learn every scale ever to solo or play lead? Absolutely not. Learn the major pentatonic, learn the minor pentatonic, learn the major scale and minor scale. Start with that, and when you get that down, you can move into modes. But basically, as somebody who's played lead guitar for 20 years in bands, or I guess 17 or 18 years in bands, but played for 20 years, it's all about really milking the pentatonic, the chord tones, and then understanding how those kind of work within the chord progression. All right. Good. Thanks, George. So I'm going to go take a walk because it's just such a beautiful day, and this was fun. I wanted to get this content out to you all. As you know, I love to assign homework that is fun. So hopefully that's the case. Remember, there's always something to work on, and if you're sitting around with some time on your hands, you know, and you pick up the guitar, just pick one of these live streams to think about, okay, where's the homework that I can work on something? Because I always try to give you something to do and not just sit here and spat out a bunch of stuff that you can't practice. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you all for your support. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all the patrons. Special thank you to all of you as well. And remember to hit the thumbs up. Let's get it to 10 likes in the next minute. And anyway, have a wonderful weekend. Good to see you all. Thanks for your comments, as always. Okay? Rock on. Happy practicing. Bye.